Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit because I'm a little bit shorter. Does that work okay? All right, but I am so thrilled that all of you are here, and the great thing is that I hope each one of you see a little bit of yourself and your ideas and what we're going to share with all of you. But I'm Irene Dumas-Tyson with Boudreaux, and again, our team, all of us here, have really enjoyed the past 3 days of being here in Inman. It has just been a very special time for us. We are kind of more charmed by your town than we have been the other couple of times that we have been here, and we are so excited about the potential. We're going to go through, or I'm going to go through some things very quickly and maybe pretty fast so we can get to the really good stuff, but I wanted to kind of set a stage for what we're going to be sharing with you and kind of why. Let me turn this on. That usually helps. There we go. All right, so first of all, we have been blown away by this input that we have gotten from this community, and so we thank all of you. I mean, the word got out, and it worked, and y'all showed up, and some of you even came more than one time or two times, and that was fabulous. One of the questions that we asked during each one of our sessions was, give us one word that describes Inman. And most of them were positive. There were several negative ones there too. One that I have to say, I was sharing this morning that really hit me, that meant a whole lot. Someone said sleepy. And I said, well, is that a positive thing or is that a negative thing? He said, well, mostly positive, because if you're asleep, that means that you can wake up. And I think that was very telling for where Inman is right now, because you're in the process of waking up, and that is so exciting. But more than anything, we heard that the one word is potential and opportunity. And that, to us, it kind of gives me chill bumps for a town to have that much hope and faith in your future that you see that. So that's just a great thing. I've always loved this. Max Dupree's father was the one who started Herman Miller Furniture Company, and they're over 100 years old, but he wrote this great book called Leadership is an Art, and I've always liked this quote, but it says, we cannot become what we want by remaining what we are. And we heard some great ideas about what you want to become. And that's not throwing away where you've been and who you are, but it's completely rethinking it. But you've got to become something very different with this. All right, so part of what we heard from all of you as far as what your vision is for the future of Inman is that you want to become a destination. You want for tourists to come here. We heard over and over again, we want to be like Landrum or Tryon or Greer and, all of these places, but you want to become a destination. And we think that is a great vision. However, you're not there yet. We think it's most important for you to become the type of community that your residents want to be, where they want to be, where they want to spend time, and those who own businesses here, so you can continue to draw more and more residents and new businesses here. So make it right for those who live here and call this home first, and then the tourists are going to come. So we're in this process now of imagining Inman. And this is going to be a long-term process to keep this up. And once we kind of move from imagining, then we're going to move into investing in Inman. And that's a very important thing. And then getting to destination. There are a few things here that are very important. So what we are doing with this master plan, and this is a very high-level conceptual master plan, but our hope is and goal is to provide the city a framework for revitalization. And part of that framework is you've got to identify a shepherd, and that could be an organization. It definitely has got to be those leaders who can do that. You've got to make sure your policies, ordinances, and guidelines are in place. And of course, you've got to have that financial support in order to pay for all of these things. But then you have to have a strategic implementation plan. So then you need to move from this master plan that we're giving you, create this framework so you can move forward. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, this is where the hard work is. This is not easy. You've got to bring a lot of creativity here, and I'll tell you, we've been blown away by the creativity here. I might steal some of Fred's thunder, but he can repeat it too because it's worth repeating. But Mill Street is happening because of a bunch of very creative women. and so it's that type. You've got to have that creativity. It's going to take a whole lot of patience. I'm going to say hard work a few times. This is going to be a lot of hard work, but it's so going to be worth it. And then you've got to have partnerships. The City of Inman cannot do this alone. This is not a governmental thing only. This is not a chamber thing only. This is not just a downtown merchants thing only. This involves Spartanburg County. It involves neighboring communities. It involves those who live here, who go to church here. You've all got to be in this together, and that is so important. That's the only way it's going to work. And then you have to communicate. And we know that that is a challenge here, but that is something that is very important. It's the communication part. All right, so all of this is about prosperity. I love this. I keep going back to this, but a Brookings report that talked about what prosperity is and how you can restore prosperity. You've got to have strong leadership. You've got to have vision and planning. You're doing this. You have strong leadership. You've got to all be in it together, and place matters, and you've got to take advantage of that. So we're going to get back to the place issue there. So it is all about placemaking. What we are finding out is, and Fred will touch on this too as well. Again, I don't mean to take your thunder. Y'all are a very young community. And you have a lot of people who've moved into Inman Mills apartments. I don't know what their average age is. I would think a little bit more on the younger side. You have a lot of retirees moving here. You have Gen Zers who are here. Everyone, and all these different groups want the same thing. It's all about placemaking. And let me go through here. And, I think there's some amazing opportunities here. When you have the majority of your residents who are migrating out every day to go to work, there's, I think, a gold mine sitting here to provide some type of collaborative workspace, kind of at home, and also entrepreneurial support here. So again, this is that whole entrepreneurial spirit, and y'all have got it, and you've got people who are coming here and are wanting to do more. I do want to show y'all. So these are actually, when you start thinking about housing, because we've heard that there is a need for more housing, like particularly infill. These are actually called entrepreneurial cottages in Starkville, Mississippi, home of the Mississippi State Bulldogs. And but they're really great. The footprint of these houses is only about 600 square feet. The ground level is where the business is. These are startup businesses, and then you can live above. The idea was for them to flip. As graduate students come out or professors want to start a business, you do it. You got a place to live, it's affordable, and then move on out and kind of have it going. This type of thing would go so well I think in Inman. And there are lots of other supports. I'm going to go through some of these pretty quickly, but all about placemaking. I'm going to go through this very quickly, but I have three kind of principles of prosperity and placemaking. So y'all remember, I'm going to sound like Sesame Street here or something. Remember the letter G. We're all going to do Pilates, and then we're going to make some gumbo, okay? All right, so with the letter G, it's all about you got to grab their attention, you've got to guide them into town, you've got to greet them when they get here, you've got to give them places to gather, and when you do all of that, you've got them. And that's what you need to be doing here. So when you grab them, y'all, there are other ways to do it besides billboards on the interstate. You've got to take advantage of social media. These are some companies that only had a social media presence. They now have brick and mortars, and they're going gangbusters. And this happens in small towns all across the state. I mean, Opelika, Alabama, anybody ever been there? Teeny tiny. This leather business, a husband and wife started a leather business, only sold online through Instagram, and they now have just opened up a second place in Nashville. Think differently about how you grab people's attention and guide them here. A lot of times our communities do such a great job of showing people how to get out of their town instead of showing them how to get into town. But you can really do some creative things about getting people into town, and then you've got to greet them. This is the town of Lexington, and they call these their front porches. So they have these at all of their main entrances going into towns, and not entryway signs, but front porches. So come on in and sit a while. And this, we think, is a great opportunity at Asheville Highway in Mill Street. Y'all already have a little bit of a sign here. This could be, there's this great little green space to do something with. Someone said to put a sign up there. So you've got great opportunities to put there. And then places to gather. Third places are the most important places a city and a business community can provide for a community. Your first place is your home, second place is where you work, and third places are where people get together and hang out, socialize, and build communities. And that's very important. And you've already got that with the coffee shop. I mean, that's a great third place, and some other areas here too as well. Inman needs to be a place and not a pass-through. And the only way you're become a place and not a pass-through is if you're doing all this and providing the the places for people to gather and for them to shop. I'm not going to delve into this. Pilates, you got to have a strong core. Inman has got to start doing Pilates. You've got to start strengthening your core. So again, that's just another way to look at it. But I do want to talk about, one of my favorite movies is Apollo 13. And it's that moment when they say, Houston, we have a problem. And they say, okay, the only way we can solve this problem, because they're up in space, is we've got to take what we've got and we've got to figure it out. Well, so they took what they had on that spaceship and they figured out how to get those 3 astronauts safely home. It's my favorite part in the movie. That's what Ed McMahon, and Sherry, I know you know Ed McMahon well, who is a senior fellow with ULI, but successful communities capitalize on what they have. They're not going out and trying to be somebody else. They're not trying to be Landrum. They're trying to be Inman and capitalizing on what they have and are creating a vibrant economy because of that. So again, it's all about making gumbo. I have a lot of Cajun blood in me here. So gumbo is all about taking what you've got and putting it all together in a pot. I'll go through these quickly. You've got to stir it. Have any of y'all ever made really good gumbo like we do? All right, it takes time. It's hard work. But you've got to take what you have and put it all together in the right way, and then you've got a delicious bowl of gumbo. And I make gumbo, my daddy makes gumbo, my brother makes gumbo. Our gumbos never taste the same because we all have different things we're putting in there. And that's what city making and place making is all about. You're taking what you've got, you're adding your own twist to it, and you're coming up with your own authentic place, and it's gonna be delicious. So all of you said y'all wanted to you've got to have a restaurant, right? Got to have a restaurant. Y'all are all familiar with Chef and the Farmer and Vivian Howard. If you haven't, go look up her book. But anyway, Kinston, North Carolina was dead and dying until Vivian Howard decided to come home. Her parents put her up in a restaurant. It has completely turned around the economy there. But it wasn't just that silver bullet of a restaurant. What they did is they then began to build a culture around that. And it's authentic. So their art that they have, their public art that they have there is amazing. Kinston is former tobacco country. So these are all, these forms are actually formed out in old tobacco fields, and so their colors come from the soil from all these years. So again, this is art that speaks to their own authentic past there. Vala Simpson, again, Wilson, North Carolina, has revitalized their downtown area now, or in the process of revitalizing it because of their local artist who does whirly gigs out of old, he passed away a couple of years ago, but out of old farming things. So again, they took what they had and they made something really unique and wonderful out of it and are now building a place-based economy with that. You don't want to be just any old can of soup, right? You don't want to, this can be anywhere. You're kind of getting that a little bit on Asheville Highway. That's not what downtown Inman is about. It's all about being authentic, doing Pilates, the 5 Gs, making your own gumbo, so people are going to be jumping for joy and having a blast in downtown Inman. So, prosperity and placemaking, those two are going to come together, and you're going to have a vibrant Inman. And so now Fred is going to share with you some of the fun part about how you can actually go around making this happen.
I am not going to have fun slides for you, actually, a bunch of bullet points for the next couple of minutes, but where's our clicker? Yeah. In economic development, in the economic development game, one of the big problems communities everywhere have is their education system. The education system is just not going to be good enough to attract people, and you guys have already overcome that. You've got some of the best schools in the state are right here, and so people want to come. This is such an amazing start for you. You also have, what I've done for years is work to try to create a catalyst project. You try to create something that is going to bring some attention and then start bringing other private money that is going to follow it and create a catalyst for additional development. Well, when we came here 6-8 weeks ago and we're walking around, okay, what can the catalyst be? We took a turn, went down Mill Street, and there is the catalyst. It's already there. So you've already got your school district. You've already got happy families coming to move in, and you have a catalyst of entertainment and real attractiveness and new development that is happening on Mill Street. Now, where do you find investors is another thing. So I've started to look, and I'll show you some of them in a minute, but there are so many potential investors here. And we were completely surprised when day before yesterday, the very first public meeting we had 3 people that walked in the door who said, I want to open a restaurant, or I'm really interested in investing in some buildings, or I want to do something substantial to change the town. Well, the investors were coming in and raising their hands and saying, we are here. They literally walked in the door, meaning that we've got some real opportunities here. I went online, just last night I found this, and this is a website called bestplaces.net, and this little one page just blew me away. The population has grown 10% since 2010. It looks to me like with the way the houses are going, you're going to get 300, 500 new houses in the next several years. The houses are just coming like crazy. The median income, and that says the median income per person, but listen to this. This is really interesting. The median family income in Greenville is $41,417. That's the median family income. In Columbia, it's $41,400. In Inman, the median family income is $50,300. You guys have money. You have real money here. Now, before you get bragging too much, the state median income is $56,000. But see, you are well on the way. This is a really good thing. And you got the school district, which is capturing people and bringing them in. They are moving in. But are you providing the needs for those families in your downtown? Right now, you are not. And those guys are getting into their cars, getting onto Asheville Highway, and they're going north and they're going south, and they're using other services, other places. The money is leaving here so fast. So we have to recreate that. So what we have done is come up with a series of goals for the community, for you guys to work on over the next period of time. So you have created your Catalyst project. It's already here. You have your economic development partners. Your best economic development partner is the school district. I'll be having this next week, conversations, Irene and I will be having conversations with One Spartanburg and trying to tie them in. I know they're interested. They were excited to hear from Irene that these discussions are going on. They're ready to come. South Carolina Department of Commerce. And then I started looking at the major industries around here, maybe not in the city, but the folks who live in your city leave every day and go to these major industries, and they all have foundations. They all have a great deal of interest in what is going to happen here. Yesterday, I think we had a gentleman from Duke Energy here, and as he left, he was saying, what can I do to help? Tell me what I can do. Well, I've got an idea, and it's on the list here. So we're going to, he volunteered. We're going to ask. So here are some of the goals that we've begun to create for you, for your committees over the next little bit of time. And I'll just give you a few details on each of these bullet points. When the community communications plan came up yesterday, day before, it was great because Joe Lanahan, the new city administrator, jumped up immediately when the conversation was going on. I will take that on. I will solve that. It's a big issue. So that one, we have a responsible party for that. Consider the creation of a historic district. When you go on Wikipedia, the description of the community talks about your historic district, and you have a great historic area here. But if you will consider creating a real historic district, you do a National Register of Historic Places historic district. Don't think that it is regulation on your community. That's not what it is. It is a listing in a book that allows you to capture really great federal tax credits and state tax credits that you can use as a building owner or a merchant to help revitalize your buildings. In South Carolina, the opportunities with those tax credits are best of just about any state in the country. So great opportunity. Create monthly events. We think it's really important that you start building on what you have and create a regular monthly event. Don't care what day it is, the same weekday every month. You do a movie over on Mill Street, or you do music on Mill Street. Just do it right off the street. Nothing complicated. Be easy on city staff. Some of you guys set up, help organize it because city staff can't do everything. And do just a nice little simple fun event that families can come to, that people can walk into. Some of the businesses can come and use the new coffee shop. And we want you guys to create in the next couple of months, create another art project. I've got an idea for an art project, but you need to do regular art projects, not big ones necessarily. You want to do something big every now and then. You want to do something small, but let's do an art project. And here's my idea for the first one, and I don't think the guy is here from Duke Energy. The lights, have you guys seen the lights at night? They are beautiful. The town looks so beautiful at night. Let's go to Duke Energy and ask them if they will fund permanent lighting on the street. The lights that are on the facades, they are there all year round. They just turn them on at the holidays. Let's leave those on. Let's go to Duke Energy and ask if they will help fund the lights that are on the other side of the street, on the crepe myrtles. They look so nice. Just that bit of lighting is going to improve the appearance of this downtown. And Duke Energy, get it, energy company, Duke has a foundation. They will probably do that. Not a lot of money, just a first relationship building with Duke. And then begin exploring some of the options for ordinances downtown. You have too many storefronts that are being used for storage. It looks terrible when you walk down the street. You have some uses that are creeping into the downtown that may not be appropriate, and you can address those with ordinances. And when I say storefronts used for storage, not a good thing. You can't necessarily go and tell a business owner, no, you can't use this anymore. You can create ordinances that will help that. But you could also find ways, minor amounts of funds, to do something to sites to block the visibility into the building, and then get with your school's arts program or your football team and put some things in there that are celebrating the community, so when someone walks down the street, the storefronts look better. It's a pretty simple way, not a whole lot of money in all of that. Now, as we continue to do that, we're going to move on, and we got goals for you in the next 8 months. Over this period of time, let's consider some changes to the facade program. One thing that I really think is important, there's a goal here for 16 months to complete 5 new facades in this downtown over that period of time. And I would like to sweeten the pot a little bit by the city providing some technical assistance to do some drawings of the buildings to make sure that the facades are really professionally done and just great. The amount of money that the city is now offering in the facade program is great. There are big cities that don't offer this amount of money. So what we need is to create some inner competition among building owners and merchants to understand what they have and take advantage of it pretty quick. But if we can explore some of those and get things going. there needs to be a Rails to Trail committee, and that is going to be an intergovernmental committee that is going to follow that train track in both directions and get these communities together to start working on it. You know, it might take 10 years, but if the opportunity comes and you are not standing there with all of your intergovernmental partners together, you are going to miss the opportunity because nobody's going to raise it. So now you have to start exploring those opportunities. In that next time period, let's do another art and culture project. Things that will create fun on the street. And I tell you what I think you need to do. Go to, see, who should we ask for money this time? Go to Spartanburg Regional Foundation and hit them up for a few $1,000 to repaint the ghost signs on the metal warehouses across the street. Some of you may think of those as being an eyesore. I just thought they were the greatest thing when I saw them. They are wonderful, and they all have ghost signs on them advertising the old fertilizers that used to be sold out of them, and one of them is the South Carolina Peach Growers Association. That sign's got to go back. That is so wonderful. It'll add so much character, and that's not a complicated project. It's a little bit of money, getting an artist to do it, and an appropriate way to get that going. Right now and over the next several months, you need to start planning for a big community celebration for when that library gets open. Start the planning now. Create a big celebration, and the celebration is not only the library. The celebration is the beginning of the revitalization of this city, and it's based in the city, in Mill Street. The library is on Mill Street. It's another thing that's coming in that whole area. So let's get that celebration, get it planned, and have something that blows this community out of the water for all the plans that are being made for the future. We think over the next year you need to start exploring and considering joining the South Carolina Main Street program. This is a program, Irene used to be the architect for the state Main Street program, and I was a member for years and years and was on their board. This is an organization from the South Carolina Municipal Association that works with cities throughout South Carolina, helps them create small revitalization organizations, and they work in a lot of different ways. But if you can just send representatives to those Main Street meetings, eventually try to get in and join. It's a very competitive process, but start getting the connections with other communities. You know what you do. You go to these meetings and you hear what they're doing, and then you start stealing ideas and adapting those ideas, and that's what the organization is all about, helping to share how we got it done, and we want you to help get it done. It's better for all of us. So let's try to get in that program. We think you need a downtown merchants association of some sort, and that can't be the city. It's going to have to be merchants in downtown, businesses in downtown who get together and start talking and exchanging ideas and working peer pressure on each other and getting information from the city and feeding it into this merchants group and everybody here. Let's recruit in the next year. Let's recruit 2 businesses. You can recruit 2 businesses. There were 3 in this room day before yesterday who were saying they wanted to come. I have seen people walking around since we've been here, kind of looking at buildings and wondering if they're listed and looking up residential commercial real estate listings. The opportunity is here. Things are going to happen. Do another arts and culture project. Find something, do a sculpture, just do anything and then celebrate it. Find at least every quarter, do something for fun to celebrate, to make certain, to make people in the community know things are changing in the downtown. And we're leaving you with a lot of design ideas, a lot of excitement. The big thing that you need to do and plan for a year from now, you need to have a full study for the implementation of a new city hall. You need to set that dream and that needs to be the best building in town. It's so important that your public buildings be as good as they can get, and we think you can do that, have that feasibility analysis done in a year. All right, then we're going to celebrate the library opening. It's sometime in a year, year and a half, all that's going to happen. We're going to have 5 facades updated by then, so you will have fixed your facade program, changed it. I've got lots of ideas. Most of my work is not here today. I have lots of writing to do. I will be giving you a guide of resources, opportunities, contacts for all of these things, way to work revitalization programs on your buildings, revitalizations of your buildings. A lot of it is going to be the kinds of things that you need to know about, but you don't need to know how to do them. You're going to send people to the right agency or the right lender or the right contact people who can help you through a legal process of getting a building redeveloped and having the state and federal government pay for a portion of it. So it's a good time. You've got all of your opportunities are ready to go.